Amy, you found me in the woods like you should, like they do in all those books you read but never learn. You just dream, you just dread, you just drown me out with the words and worlds that swirl in your head. When my magazines burn, all the people they turn into monsters, but just for a second, then they're dead, and they'll leave the earth like me. Thanks. Can you hear stuff? Do you need to hear more stuff of any stuff? Sound friend, can you put more of that guitar over here? Just a touch of it. A little less of the guitar and the drums, please. This one. Thank you. trip around the table is all it takes. A quiet, secret laugh track tries to hide the breaks. And she won't rest unless she knows for sure if I am safe. And everybody thinks we're perfect, though we've made our share of mistakes. Like I'm just a boy or just a girl, we're both in love, we don't know why, we don't care, we don't want to know, we like our innocence, our ignorance is bliss. This is much too much to miss, so come on, let's hers and his, and after all, that's all there is. And when I finally come to terms with my obsession for your germs, how I need you all over me, I need you all over me, oh how I would implode for thee, do anything just to see how far this sickness carries me. My love for you will bury me. A trip around the table like they do at Greek weddings is all it takes. You'd never guess these were my legs, and this is the sound they make. And finally she's asleep, 'cause finally she knows that I'm safe. And they went on thinking we're perfect, we went on making our mistakes. Like I'm just a boy or just a girl, we're both in love, we don't know why, we don't care, we don't want to know, we like our innocence, our ignorance is bliss. This is much too much to miss, so come on, let's hers and his, and after all, that's all there is. And when I finally come to terms with my obsession for your germs, how I need you all over me, I need you all over me, oh how I would implode for thee, do anything just to see how far this sickness carries me. My love for you will bury me. A trip around the table is all it takes. Thanks. That song was about Greek weddings and how they smash plates and dance around tables. I've never been, but I sure like to smash plates. This is the Heligoats, and we're from Chicago. Thanks. This song's about this guy that quit his job and moved to a polluted swamp between a Circuit City cavern and a movie theater. This swamp where this guy went down on his lunch breaks was collecting a lot of debris, and he went down there to have his cheese sandwich, and he noticed this bird land, and he took note of it and took it back to the office and researched it and found out that it was a endangered migratory bird. And so he wrote the government and said, there's this polluted wetland area, and after about a year of rallying and lobbying, he got a grant, and they gave him money to clean up the swamp. And so he quit his job, and he sold his house, and he built himself a little hut in the middle of the swamp and started cleaning it up. And all the animals were loving life and getting healthy, and they started procreating, and he he felt a little disillusioned, disenchanted by the swamp after the animals started procreating because all their kids didn't quite understand who he was. Only the parents were like, that's the guy who helped us build our home. And the kids were like, what? And so he fell on hard times, and he tried to get back into the workforce, but after spending 3 years in a swamp cleaning up trash, none of the animals would sign off on any of the work, so he had nothing to show for it, and the kids were just a bunch of punks. And so he got down on life, and he moved to Lake Geneva, Wisconsin, and he started stealing boats.
Lake Geneva!
Hell yeah.
Axl Rose's on that lake.
Shit. There's a lot of boats to steal up there. So here's a song about that guy. Is there a sign on the back of my head that says desensitized? Well, I'm sorry I said anything. You sang a song and then learned to sing. Said that you missed the songs you sang before you learned anything. In a fishbowl on the beach, I know the salty water stings, but it's not hard to see. From a bowl, the world's out of reach. I see my face in the lake at the end of a pier, and all the fish seem to wonder what I'm doing here. When I hold my head under and hear them all scoff, I just open up my mouth and let my mind jump off. And it says there's a sign at the end of this swamp. It says, destruct, it's fucked, it's done, it's just mud. No such dumb luck. Construct new huts, blind brand new kinds of ducks, make them occupy new titles like they do on the Royal Isle, where they print up a phone book as thick as a Bible. I've seen it, you were baptized in a river, I was thrown off a bridge, and then I landed on a crab you slept with seahorses, and then I started having seizures, you started having kids, and you found your inner self, I found my inner fit. Boat name, I'm sure we both came, but no such cons, no pontoon, no one is listening to you. The sun does wonders to your brain, the way it burns right through. I'm swimming in a trough, I'm sure you've written me off by now, but just when I think that all is lost, I see you stepping in the water. To me, every edge of the lake is a 50-foot cliff, and once you are swimming with me, there's no way out of it. So let's just turn back into amphibian. Let's just tread until our legs give in and start over. Start over. Start Oh, thanks. This is Tugboat playing guitar over here. Did you guys meet Tugboat? I'm having a little bit of equipment issue, only because last night I got punched in the jaw. And the night before that I got punched in the head. Do you see this? Anyways. It's okay, guys. There are some sad people out there. It's okay. It's all right.
Hey, who did it? I'll kick his ass. Yeah, me too. It was the bass player. It was the bass player. Son of a bitch. I can't fight you. I'm on moral grounds, sorry. Thanks. Cheers. Cheers to punching your guitar.
It wasn't me, I swear. It was this guy.
Hey.
I'm not gonna say who it is, but he plays bass in the band. Water towers on fire will take care of themselves while everybody's at work counting down the hours. That's what I like about you. You are someone I admire. You take care of your own damn problem, like a water tower on fire. Oh, and now I am taking off my belt. It seems to be time I teach you a lesson. But just like the phone, I sure wish you were off the hook. We could then sell off the cheap thrills and try to head far in the hills. And then like a barrel full of monkeys, you are a fucking Thanks, everybody. Are we all having a sweet Ash Wednesday? Sweet Ash. You guys having a sweet Ash Wednesday? One time there were these, and I made this, and it was kind of so that when it happened, and I went like this, she was like, ah, and I was like, dude, and then the hospital, but later on there was not so much, but then things smoothed out after there. It was science fair night, and she built this large contraption. I don't remember what it did. I think it fed her fish or her turtles. I built a lever that opened a book. But hers had wheels and string and fire, and people were walking through to look at everybody's, and I said, "Did you see?" And my finger went into her face about that deep. Right in her eye. It was an official gouge. It was a gouge. So I had to deal with that for a while, being that guy, until I changed my story up, which I recommend to all of you if you're having trouble dealing with something in your past that you just can't get over, and people are like, "You're that guy." Just switch it up. Or suppress, or repress. But I instead of when people were like, "You're that guy," instead of going like, "Oh," I'm now the guy that's like, "Well, we hooked up for a little while. Things got sour. That's why I don't talk to her. She and I are kind of weird, but it's not because I was the guy that poked her in the face." We got a new record if you guys want to try to see it. It's over there, and we printed all the covers ourselves. And it's not on iTunes. And it's not real, so we get to celebrate it not being official. Anyways, this is that song about when I gouged that girl, and then I changed the story up. And then it got elaborate, and then people started making fun of me for the guy that hooked up with her, and gotta write another tune about that. Stopper. I brought the ball, you brought the ram. I hooked my hose up to your flowing water, but never offered you a hand. And I love to see you at your most productive. And I love to watch you wait for me to do something. Yesterday, Ruby Tues, the race was off, and it seemed that the room we were in had gotten loud. And I stuck my finger in her eye socket, misdirecting the crowd. Look at my love and say something constructive. Look at my love and tell me it's not something. See how the people get replaced by machines, and see part of the song where she went and got an ice pack and had to wait for the ambulance, and I stood around in the learning center waiting to see what was gonna happen. I tricked her into seeing medicine balls, pulling ropes and making beds. And we decided after watching dominoes fall, we'd rather wait outside instead. And when we kissed, it tasted just like candy. And we tasted it until the sun came up all around us. And we spent the night out on that trampoline, like two machines, but we were making love. Thanks, everybody. Oh, there. I was starting to get burned. I was starting to peel already. We haven't played this one. This is our 13th night being away from home, and thanks for being here. And this song's about the time I was supposed to catch this girl who jumped out of a tree, and I missed her, and I watched her arm snap in half. And then I had these crazy dreams later that night that I was put on trial, and apparently she'd passed away, and I can't think about it. She must have rolled 50 feet after she fell to the base of a tree and then into a hole at the bottom of a hill. And leaking, we see every color of the rainbow dripping from her shell. Bodies don't bounce, as far as I know, as far as I can tell. She was one in a million, but still I couldn't take my chances. With her bones just like rails, and with her railings just like branches. I know justice may just call out from the grave, call out with some answers. We see her face on the surface of the lake, we going after her, we see that all I ever think about is reasonable doubt. And if She was 1 in a million, but still I couldn't take my chances with her bones, just like rails, and with railings, just like branches. I know justice may just call out from the grave, call out with some answers, and we see her face on the surface of the lake. We going after, and all I ever think about is reasonable doubt. And if I had my hands on you, I don't know what I'd do now. Thanks for pulling a new one out of us, Mind Sketch. You might have noticed that I don't remember the words. I noticed. This song's about being nervous at your friends' parties and inching your way into the kitchen where they keep all the cooking things. And nervously grabbing the oils, and with one hand removing a layer of clothing, and the other hand dumping the oils onto yourself and getting kind of looby. Going into the heat system, going into the heat vents, and getting into the walls, and just squirreling your way through there, through the ceiling, and down into the other rooms where the people are talking. And if you go head first, you can just get down in there and get your ear situated right by the vent. You can listen into what everybody's talking about. And that's why you're nervous about it in the first place. So it's a strange tick, and there are sufferers out there. Look for them at your next party. I found out about other people suffering when I got into the walls, and there was another dude in there escaping another party in the same apartment complex. He was an older guy, but very, very wise. He was familiar. He died a couple of years after I met him from respiratory failure from being nervous his whole life. Yesterday I got lost in the heat vent twice. I know that I should have just kept out, but you know it was too damn enticing. I thought I knew the way back, but I must have got turned around, because the vent I entered into no longer vent where I remembered. Heating ducts do take me to an altered mental state where one has trouble breathing air, but no trouble feeling great to travel inside of a body, travel inside of a vein. If the home is where the heart is, then the attic is the brain, like a drain. For the dust, for the pain, for the unwanted items in your heat vents tend to stay and die for years until the day their bodies crumble, then give you dusty tears, filling space you thought so safe. In your room you feel the most. Are you breathing heated air? Are you breathing heated ghosts? So, no. Anybody else think that they could catch ghosts by inhaling them when they were young? And I see it softer than an ice cube, and it's sticking to your tongue. And I see static start to build and fingertips get stung. And I can taste electrons now, just the slightest hint. I'm still the only one I know, it seems. With dreams of being lit, well now I'm lit. I am no one that important. I'll just collect myself here in the corner, be some sort of tangible form of boredom, sampled, trampled, never very far from where you are standing. I'll be collected and killed off like skin cells and runoff, and sneezes and secrets and clues, and insects and refuse, and bleeding and breathing, and heating and keeping the secrets bottled, then fleeing, sparking, exploding, head first in black holes, digging and deeper and faster and farther than anything that's ever lasted. And all that I hear is the devil laughing, and it keeps me together, it keeps me from blacking out, winding out. I always The song's about an adult film star that tried to take his own life.